Hi there, welcome to Kneppyinvests. I will not be recording a video over the next 4 days from Monday to Thursday. So I have pre-prepared 4 videos to be released from today through to Wednesday. And I had planned to record today's video sometime during that period to be released on Thursday. But I do have a little bit of spare time. So I've decided to record this video right now. So I am talking about 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon or early evening. And one of the reasons I've just decided to do this video now is I really like doing these videos. So I'll be doing a technical update on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 3 ASX companies. And those 3 ASX companies are BWX, Challenger, and Xero. We'll be looking at those companies for different reasons. BWX and Xero share price have reached really interesting levels, and I'll talk about why those levels are interesting to me. And Challenger is a little bit different. Share price recently reached a 2-year high, and when I did have a look at the financial state of the company, I could see some value in Challenger even at these levels. So wouldn't be surprised to see Challenger remain in an uptrend that it is or has found itself right now. But before we get to BWX, Xero, and Challenger, I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's talk about those right now. Now, I'm not going to really tell you if I'm a cryptocurrency bull or bear in this video, but I can tell you that I'm neither a massive bull or massive bear. So I don't really believe in Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, who think cryptocurrencies are absolutely useless. And the reason they think it's absolutely useless is because they have absolute faith in governments and think we should have absolute faith in governments too, because they were brought up way back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. In those times, people actually did believe in governments. Well, things have changed, and a lot of people in this world don't believe in governments anymore. They don't believe the governments have their best interest at heart. So I can understand that point of view, but I'm neither a bull or absolute bull on cryptocurrencies. I do think there is a possible end use case for cryptocurrencies, but in the absolute end use case, in my opinion, they would act as currencies, and currencies themselves are not an investment. You don't buy Australian dollars, American dollars, Japanese yens as an investment. You might trade them, but they would not be an investment unless you think they're really cheap. For instance, if the Australian dollar got down to 50 cents American, that's when you might buy a fair bit of Australian dollars, simply because you think if it reverts back to the mean, it might increase or should increase over time. Anyway, I'm not really going to be talking about the end use case, whether I'm a bull or bear in regards to Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is just looking at technicals. And right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are at really interesting levels. So if you have a look at the Bitcoin chart here, which goes back to March 2021, so just over 1 year ago, Bitcoin is quite volatile. And if Bitcoin does become a currency, it should not be volatile like this. It should remain fairly stable, because if it doesn't remain stable, then it's useless as a currency. That's just my opinion. Anyway, if we go back to May through to July last year, Bitcoin fell to about $30,000. And every time it hit $30,000, we did see a bit of a bounce. Now, it's funny that investors really love round numbers. They like to buy and sell at round numbers, and $30,000 for Bitcoin is a round number. And that's why whenever Bitcoin hit $30,000, you saw a lot of buying. And then eventually in the middle of July last year, it bounced off 30,000 and then went from 30,000 to a high of 68,000. And that 68,000 was reached in November. Never since that high, the price of Bitcoin has fallen back, and it reached 30,000 a few weeks ago. And as soon as it hit 30,000, we saw a massive peak in volume. You can just see that massive volume peak just after it hit 30,000. I thought there would have been a bounce because that increase in volume was telling us there was someone interested in buying. But as soon as we saw that massive volume come in, that supply or demand come in, that was met by supply. And that's why we didn't see a bounce. And the price of Bitcoin has just gone sideways since then, which is a bearish signal in my mind. So at this point in time, I did expect a bit of bounce of 30,000. We haven't seen that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more downside from here for Bitcoin. And as we have, or I have a look at Ethereum, very similar signals Very similar chart for Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. It makes sense. You would think Bitcoin and Ethereum should have or should be highly correlated. Now, the other thing that's pretty highly correlated is equity markets and cryptocurrencies. They do move in very similar directions most of the times, but not always. And we have seen them move in different directions over the past few days. We have seen equity markets in America go up a fair bit, while cryptocurrencies actually have fallen or remained stable. Anyway, Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, reached a good support level through or from May to July last year, and that was at about 1700. And then Ethereum reached 1700 a few weeks ago. We saw a good bounce, and then it reached again a few trading days ago and has gone sideways since then. So again, just like Bitcoin, it's hovering around this really good, strong support level. And if we see further downside from here, it could move a lot further down from 1700. So at this point in time, the way to trade this, if you were a trader, you could take a position right now, a low risk position, and if it bounces, which might be your expectation, but if it falls from here, that would be a sell. So that's why it is a low risk buy opportunity right now for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now on to BWX. A couple of reasons why I wanted to talk about BWX. The first reason is where the share price is right now compared to historical prices this company has seen. And if we go back to 2018, this company went through a lot of problems. In fact, the share price of this company fell from about $8 all the way back to about $1.30 in 1 year. So significant problems this company faced. But then we did see a nice little bounce. The company recovered. I forget exactly what the company went through back then. Company share price recovered. In fact, it went from $1.30 to a high of $5.50, which was reached in about July, August of last year. But again, just like 2018, share price has been under significant problems since that high in August last year. Share price has fallen from $5.50 back down to $1.30. And $1.30 was a previous low we saw in 2018 and for a very short period of time in 2019. So historical lows for this company. Now, they did do a trading update in regards to the financial performance for financial year 22. They did give some guidance, and the market didn't like that guidance. That's why the share price has come under pressure on fairly large volume. It seems like some of the acquisitions this company has done are not performing to expectations. But the other reason I want to do a video on BWX is the other day when I went into Woolworths, I needed to buy some personal wash items, and I came across Sukin, which is a product that BWX sells. And it seems like Sukin is gaining traction. It's demanding more space in Woolworths and Coles, so it is performing very well. So that's one really good thing for BWX, but it just seems some of their acquisitions have not performed. So this is another instance of a company making acquisitions that did not perform and were not good for shareholders. So I just hope BWX does not perform any more acquisitions. They try to focus on Sukin and try to focus on organic growth in that area. So at this point in time, BWX is at a really interesting support level at $1.30. And another potential low risk buy, because if we see further downside from here, that would be an immediate sell, because that would be a fairly bearish move. But with a valuation of about or just over $200 million, I don't think the valuation of this company is too stretched. And if we do see recovery in their financial performance, I think we would look back in about 2 or 3 years' time that $1.30 entry point would be fairly cheap and a good place to buy some shares for this company. So a lot of things going on with BWX, a lot of thoughts in my mind. I think this is a potential buy simply because of the valuation of this company and the amount of negative sentiment right now for BWX. But again, negative sentiment can drive a share price of a company well below fair value. And that could be happening to BWX over the next few months. And I just want to linger on the daily chart for BWX very briefly here, because I've included that long-term low, historical low for BWX going back to 2018. And you can just see the share price over the past 2 weeks has been hovering around that level. So about $1.30, between $1.25 and $1.37.5. So again, because the share price has reached that historical low level, a lot of investors out there have seen that And that's why we have seen a little bit of interest in this company. And that interest has maintained the share price hovering around those levels. But I would have expected a little bit of a bounce off $1.37. So just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, I wouldn't be surprised to see more downside for this company. So that's one negative thing I can see moving forward for BWX. Now onto a company I've been following for the longest time, but I've never taken a position in Challenger. If we go all the way back, this is the weekly chart. If we go all the way back from 2016 to towards the end of 2017, start of 2018, share price of Challenger was in a really good uptrend. Share price actually got to as high as about $14.50. But share price has been under pressure, or was under pressure, from that high of $14.50, which was reached towards the end of 2017, all the way through to the COVID-19 lows. And ever since the COVID-19 lows, where share price of this company got down to $3, we have seen Challenger's share price move into an uptrend. And right now, or a few weeks ago, share price of Challenger did reach a 2-year high. It went above the previous high we saw back in January of 2021. So that is a bullish sign or signal for Challenger. Also had a look at the financial state of this company. And if they can continue to perform like they have been performing over the last 3 to 4 years, this company does look actually quite attractive on valuation grounds. And you can just see the upside or potential upside if we go back to 2018 and that high of $14.50. So the potential upside for Challenger over the next few years is a doubling of its share price from here. As we quickly take a look at Challenger's daily chart, going back to January 2021, just above my head right here is where we did see the previous high at $7.40. The share price of Challenger tried to get above $7.40 in October or late October last year, but struggled, only got to $7.20. But over the past 3 weeks, the share price of Challenger has gotten above $7.20 or $7.40, but not on a consistent basis. And over the last 3 days, we have seen share price pull back below $7.40 to $7.20. So this could be a little bit of a buy the dip situation with Challenger, because when you do look at the weekly and daily chart for this company, there is uptrend and there is positive momentum and positive sentiment in regards to Challenger. The last company I want to talk about in this video is Xero. Now, the first time I heard about Xero was just after they listed on the ASX. The share price went through an absolute tear because there was a lot of participants in the market who thought this company was going to grow at really high rates. And it has actually grown at really strong rates. But because the company was not profitable during those early parts of its life on the ASX, there was a lot of volatility in this company's share price. And the second time I heard about Xero was back in early 2017, when the first time I heard someone using Xero, a handyman came around to a house. We were going to pay him, and then he mentioned something or some problems he was having with the Xero payment process or something. I can't remember exactly what, but he also mentioned how much he liked Xero. So whenever you hear someone say how much they like Xero, even if they were having problems with it, that's actually a good sign. And the reason why the share price of Xero went from about $25 start of this period or this chart, which was early 2018, all the way to a high of about $160, which was reached in November 2020. And there was a little bit of a blip during the COVID-19 financial panic, but that was only a little blip. Share price recovered quite quickly. But the share price has been struggling over the past few months. We did see the share price get back up to $156 a few months ago, well, maybe 5 months ago. But the share price has fallen from $156 to below $100. So it's hovering around $88 right now. And if we go back to pre-COVID times, the share price actually did reach about $88, $90 a few weeks before COVID-19. So share price right now is at pre-COVID-19 levels. So that was 2 or just over 2 years ago. And that's the only reason I'm interested in Xero right now, because I think this is a much better company than it was back then. So there could be value in Xero right now. That's all I have for this technical update on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 3 ASX companies, which were BWX, Challenger, and Xero. If you have any thoughts about any cryptocurrency, if you think buying into cryptocurrency is the biggest no-brainer, or if you fairly similar to Buffett and Munger, who think that cryptocurrencies are the biggest fraud of all time. Maybe I'm putting words in their mouth, but it seems like that's what they think, because Buffett said he wouldn't buy all the Bitcoin for $25, which is absolutely ridiculous. So if you have any thoughts about cryptocurrencies or the 3 ASX companies I've mentioned in this video, just leave it in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Have a good day. The last thing I should mention is I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.